There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I told you one of my goals yesterday, not just my lifting goal, but my goal for class. Okay, we have our verses of the day over there. We went through a couple of those yesterday. I'm really trying to bring in faith into the classroom. I told you, I'm struggling with that. Why? Because 17 years in public education, a new Christian, I don't know where to start. So guess what I did? I started reading. And this hit me from Psalms. And I think it's going to work really well for y'all with this question. So verses 1 through 6. Have mercy on me, O God, because of your unfailing love. Because of your great compassion, blot out the stain of my sins. Wash me clean from my guilt. Purify me from my sin. For I recognize my rebellion. It haunts me day and night. Against you and you alone have I sinned. I have done what is evil in your sight. You will be proved right in what you say, and your judgment against me is just. For I was born a sinner, yes, from the moment my mother conceived me. But you desire honesty from the heart, teaching me wisdom even there. Honesty from the heart. Okay? God wants us to be honest, truthful, not even lying deep inside. So, when I say, hey y'all, who has a question? It does you no good to be like, In here you know. You know if you have a question, let me help you. Everybody with me. First step. What's always the first step? Find my balance point. Okay. We'll just go around. Mr. Miller, left or right side?
Left.
Left side. Okay. Don't laugh at me, Ava.
Sorry.
5'7". Okay. So we're not looking at this side. Everybody with me. We're over here. Don't care about this left side right now, or this right side. Right side. Okay, Lydia. First step. So we've found the balance point. Now what?
Distribute.
If needed, do we have to distribute?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's parentheses.
And what else? There's something smack-a-dab up against it. Okay, just because there's parentheses doesn't necessarily mean we have to distribute. There has to be a term right on the outside of it. So now, this is where it gets confusing. We are taking this fraction of 1/3. We are multiplying it to the 6x. We are also multiplying it to the -9. William, you feel confident? Can you help me? 1/3 multiplied by 6x.
2x.
Air 5. I just smacked you in the face. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. 2x. Good. Okay, Patrick. Do you feel confident? 1/3 multiplied by -9. Positive times a negative. When we have positive times a negative, it's what?
Negative.
Good.
Negative 3.
Negative. Dude, awesome. Okay. Are we good? Oh, I see a lot of shaking heads. Lydia, why not? Oh, Lydia, oh my gosh. Ava, why not?
We need to bring down the plus 3x.
I love that you put a little respect on his name. Make sure you bring that plus down. The plus 3x, okay? We're still on this left side. Mr. Miller said, hey, we're doing the left side. Now watch this, ready? Okay, Mr. Miller, so now we're here. What's the next step?
Combine like terms.
Combine like terms on the, help him, on the same side. Because when it's on the same side, we do what it says. Okay, Lydia, what am I circling?
2x and 3x.
What?
Plus 3x.
Oh, thank you. You got to put a little respect on his name. Don't lose the sign, because that's what tells me what to do. What is 2x plus 3x?
5x.
There we go. Those are like terms, so we can combine them. So, Mr. H, we brought down the -3. Okay, I did that for you. So we are now, look, this isn't easy. It's not easy. But in 1, 2 steps, look how much cleaner it looks. Try not to do the whole thing at once. Break it down into parts. Left side, right side. Anybody confused here? Okay. Where are we at? William, go.
Distribute.
Okay. Be careful. What am I going to distribute?
2x.
What's smack dab in front of the parenthesis?
Negative.
Okay, the negative sign. What invisible number is with that negative?
1.
Ah. So there is an imaginary -1. Okay? Got to have a little faith when you see that negative. And this goes back to our Hebrews 11:3. You got to have that faith to realize, hey, even though I don't see it, it's there. Yes? Okay. So what am I distributing, William?
4x and 8.
Okay, what number am I distributing to this? You said, I'm taking something to the 4x and the positive 8. What?
Maybe negative 2x.
What number is right next to it?
1.
What kind of one?
Negative 1.
Oh, so I'm taking -1 and I multiply it to the 4x. I'm taking the -1 and I'm multiplying it to the positive 8. So William, did we touch the 2x? So what happens?
It stays there. It drops.
It drops down, okay. -1 multiplied by 4x. Negative multiplied by a positive is?
No. So negative 4x.
Very good. And you have that on your paper. Take a look at your paper. -1 times 8 is? You have this one on your paper too. -1 multiplied by 8?
Negative 8.
Beautiful. Still with me. This is a long problem. Still with me though? Okay. What do we have to do? Same side.
You have to minus the negative, wait, -2 minus 4x.
Where do you see a -2?
I mean 2x.
So we have
minus
2x minus 4x, combining like terms on the same side. 2 minus 4 is, bless you, -2x minus 8. Hey y'all, here we go. Here we go. That looks a lot easier. But notice what we did. Even with a large problem, we broke it down into sections. 1 part, 2 parts. Okay? Now I'm going to go. My step from here is combine variables on opposite sides using inverse operations. I personally will always move my smaller variable. So I have 5x's, I have -2x's. My coefficient of -2 is smaller than 5, which means I do the inverse of -2, which is plus 2x. So both sides. Remind me, what's that property? -2 plus 2 gives me 0 x's. What is the property? What's the inverse property? I only say it every day. You guys are making me look, oh my gosh, you're making me look bad. The additive inverse property. Thanks guys, thanks. This drops down. Remember, all of it drops down. So -8 equals 7x minus 3. Everybody still with me? Step 5 is combine constants on opposite sides. The goal of every equation is to isolate the variable. Get it away. Okay, you want some alone time? We're moving everything away from you, right? So, inverse of -3 is adding 3. Let's try again. -3 plus 3. What property? Yep, say it.
No, never mind.
Additive inverse property. When we're adding opposites, it gives me 0. Because nothing just cancels in math. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. So now I have 7x equals -5. Last but not least, isolate the variable using inverse, either multiplication or division. 7x's is multiplication. The inverse is? Divide both sides by 7. And in Algebra 2, just like Algebra, we don't want decimals. I'm going to leave it as a simplified fraction of -5/7. It's a lot of work. Did you get that, Lydia?
Yes.
Nice work. Okay. Do you see your mistakes if you made them? Yes, no, maybe so. Any questions? Homework out. You had page 5, I don't know, let me see. You had page 5 numbers 7 through 14 and 22 through 32. Most of you finished in class.
Oh, I did it.
I know you did it too because you were doing it in class. Go ahead, find it and let me know. Your writing is so pretty.
I didn't know that one. I would guess it, but I didn't want to do it wrong.
I would rather see you make the effort.
Yeah.
I'd rather see you make the effort. Okay, so Patrick, you let me know when you find it, if you find it. If not, then you're going to turn it in tomorrow, okay? You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. You all right when you need? Good. Just don't go in front of the camera. So what I would suggest, how I would check my own homework, make a mark on your paper, okay? Put a check, put a circle, do whatever you think, a highlighter. If you need a highlighter, I've got them. But I would make sure that you know which ones you got correct. And then write the wrong or the correct answer down if you missed it. That way if you have a question, you can ask. But make sure you have something so that you can follow up with it. Okay? Patrick, why don't you at least get your book out and follow along, okay? We're going to be on page 5. Okay, number 7, right? That's where we started, 7 through 14? Okay, number 7. It is a whole number, an integer, a rational number, and a real number. Okay? So again, whole, integer, rational, real. Questions on that one?
So.
Number 8 is rational and real. Number 9 is a fraction. Once we see that fraction, can we simplify it? Nope, it's a decimal, therefore it's rational and real. Number 10, pi. Irrational and real. Questions on those? Marker. Here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm never going to be able to make this line as nice. I'm going to show you the number line. You can kind of take a look. C, A, B, D. Take a look at yours. Make sure that it's close. And if not, I can put it on the board and I can show you how we make the number line. You good? Okay. C, A, B, D. And if I need to write that bigger on the board, can you see that? Good? Okay. Well, I know you got it, but check your answers, because it's much neater. We see how much.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. Questions on those? So that's 7 through 14. 22, we're looking for an always, sometimes, or never. A natural number is an integer. Number 22, always. Remember, so you should have that chart. Always goes out, sometimes goes in. 23, an integer is a natural number. Sometimes. Okay, we're referencing that chart that we made yesterday. 24, irrational, always a real number. 25, never. So what that's saying is the square root of 11. That's not a perfect square, which means it cannot be rational. It's always irrational. 26, always. 27 is always. 28 is never. 29 is always. 30 is always. 31 is sometimes. And 32 is never. Now, I'd like to show you some of these. So if you missed them, Mr. H, can you explain this in a different way? Absolutely. What we got?
I missed 31 and 32.
Okay. So, first off, what is an integer? Give me some examples of integers.
0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Negative 1.
So those are the whole numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But what matters for integers? It's those whole numbers and their
Opposite.
opposites. So -1, -2, -3, -4, right? Okay. So 31 says the quotient. What mathematical operation is quotient? Is it adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? That would be why you missed it. It's dividing. So it says the quotient of two integers is an integer. -3 divided by 2. Do that in your calculator. Do -3 divided by 2. Tell me what it gets.
-1.5.
Is that an integer with a decimal?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's try this. -4 divided by 2, because those are still two integers.
Negative.
Oh, is -2 an integer? So sometimes when I divide two integers, but not always.
Okay.
Okay? 32, the same thing. Can I ever have a fraction, a division problem of two integers, and it not give me an answer? Remember, fractions, any fraction is rational. Any division problem that I make is rational. So number 32 says the quotient of two integers is irrational. That's not possible. Because irrational means the decimals go on forever, never repeat, and do not terminate. Questions? Favorite lesson, favorite lesson. If you watch the video, you'll know why it's my favorite lesson. You watched the video, didn't you, Lydia?
Yeah.
How many times did I say it?
I don't know.
Okay, get your notes out. 8:29, 24, we are doing 1.2. We are doing OofO. And if you haven't said it, you should say it because it's fun. That's why I love it. I know I should love these boards. I hate these things. I hate these things. Okay. What is OofO, Lydia? Okay. So what?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know when I can let go.
You gotta watch that one. Which one? Yeah.
You have been doing OofO for a long time. Order of operations. And you have been probably taught order of operations wrong for many years. Because when I was getting taught, and I'm sure Mr. Miller was probably the same way, they said PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is wrong. It's not parentheses first. It's not. It should be GEMDAS, but I don't know how that would work. So if you don't have this already, you're going to want to copy this down. So the first thing in order of operations is grouping symbols. And grouping symbols are parentheses. That's one of the many grouping symbols. Are brackets, another one. Our absolute value symbol. And a radical, a cube root. Now these get a little bit tricky because really this is saying the exponent of 1/2, which we'll learn in Algebra 2, but for right now assume that they're a grouping symbol. You do everything that's underneath them first. Okay, grouping symbols. Then, once we understand grouping symbols, then everything's the same. Exponents, we do. And what is an exponent? Like 2 to the third, 4 to the -2nd. All of those are exponents. Base, power. 3 is a two-parter. Multiply, divide. Okay? And I've named it number 3. Okay, it's not 3 and 4, they're together. Why? We do these, in order, left to right. And then step 4, is also together. Addition, subtraction. Guess what I'm going to put there? Do in order from left to right. You all right?
Just trying to intimidate you.
Oh, yeah.
She does a good job. She does a good, I mean, she does a good job, I'm not gonna lie. I'll give you about 30 seconds to copy this down. Okay. So let's try some. Let's try a very basic one to start. Let's go 3 squared minus 9 plus 2 minus 8 minus the square root of 4 plus 12. Whew. And I told you this was basic. Okay. Do we have grouping symbols? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a bunch of them, right? We have parentheses, we have brackets, we have a square root. We always start with what's called the nested parenthesis. Nested means inside. Has anybody ever seen those Russian nesting dolls where you open one and there's another one on the inside, and then you open another one and there's another one on the inside? Same idea. We start on the inside, we're trying to make it big. Okay? When you do these, do one step at a time. Everybody with me? Okay. So, I start on the inside. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. I'm going to just bring down this so far, okay? Can you bring down the whole thing? Yes, but I don't want you to get overly confused by bringing everything down and rewriting everything every time. So now I have in parentheses and a bracket. So this is still grouping symbols. 9 plus negative 6. 9 plus negative 6 is now in this bracket as positive 3. Still with me? Okay. Now I'm going to rewrite everything else. So everything comes straight down. 3 squared minus 4 plus 12. Now here's the question you might ask yourself. Hey, Mr. H, this is still in brackets. Sure it is. Is there anything to do inside of that grouping symbol? No. That's why we're done with that. Are there other grouping symbols? What is it, Liv? Or Ava?
4 plus 12.
What is that grouping
Well, the
symbol?
square root.
The square root. So now I have minus the square root of 4 plus 12, which is 16. Okay. Later on, we're going to do something different here. Is this still a grouping symbol? Can we do the square root of 16? Yes. Again, later on we're going to realize this is an exponent, but I don't want to confuse us right now, so we're going to do it as a grouping symbol. Square root of 16 is?
4.
So now I have this written down. And I call it the tornado. Notice how this is starting to form a tornado. Okay? The more that we do this, we're going to keep coming down into that funnel shape. Okay? What's next?
The exponent.
Yep. 3 to the second power means 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. Minus 3 minus 4. 9 minus 3 is 6. Minus 4. 6 minus 4 is
Got it right.
2. How do we feel? You've been doing these for a while. Okay? Everybody still with me? If not, that's all right. How's my time? I don't even know what time. 5 seconds. 55? Okay. Good. I only got one more example for you. Okay? the only thing that you will see, and I'm big on math terminology, this is an expression. We simplify expressions. If we need to substitute in, what do you mean substitute in, Mr. H? Well, I'll show you. But then we evaluate. It's no longer simplifying, it is evaluating. And does that make me a nerd? Yeah, I'm all right with that. Like, I'm like two different people. I love reading sci-fi, I love reading fantasy, like I like all of that, and then I'll go into the gym and lift with the biggest guys there. Like I'm two different worlds, I love it, okay? So we are going to evaluate. When? That's a WEA. When A equals -3, B equals 4. Here we go. AB squared minus A plus B. Simple to start. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm letting you know that you have to substitute in before you evaluate. Go ahead. So I want to make sure that you have at least 10 minutes to work on homework. Okay, so
I
now,
have a question.
Yep.
Is this,
So,
like, I know that,
what does AB mean?
I don't think you put the meeting.
You don't?
So what are you trying to do?
There you go. Very good. So same thing. So it's not -34 when we have a variable next to a variable. What do we do when we have a number next to a variable? It means what? Oh, so A times B. Does that make sense? Okay. So you're very confused. So now, everywhere you see A, you have to put A in. And where you see B, you're going to put B in. So first you have to rewrite the problem. Okay, while you're working, I'm going to just begin.
Mr. H. You and Mul. Yeah, okay. Let's rush this.
Okay, pause where you're at. I'm still going to give you 1 more minute. But notice how I rewrote this. When I rewrite, especially with a negative, wherever the negative goes, I put it in parentheses. That's a great tip. You want to start getting used to putting the negative number in parentheses. Because this says minus A, minus the -3. Go ahead, you have about a minute, maybe a little less. Okay, here we go. -3 multiplied by 4 is -12 squared. Minus a -3 plus 4. Mr. H, why'd you do this first? Grouping symbols. Exponent, -12 squared. It's all of this. -12 squared is -12 multiplied by -12. Negative multiplied by a negative is? So now I have 144 minus a -3 plus 4. Negative next to a negative. I have to rewrite first. 144 plus 3 plus 4. Remember, and this is something algebra has been struggling with, if I have 2 negatives right next to each other, they form 1 positive. Are there any negatives left over? These 2 lines make the 1 plus. Okay. 144 plus 3 is 147. Plus 4 is 151. Questions? Yes, no. Okay. Your homework is page 10. 10 out of the book. Okay, page 10. So homework, we're going to have about 10 minutes. You should get through a bunch of them. Page 10, numbers 7 through 31 odd. 7 through 31 odd. So it's not too many. You're only doing the odds. 7, 9, 11. I think it's like 12 questions, something like that. Okay? 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29. 13 questions. I knew it was something like that. Okay? Any last minute questions? Love y'all.